In the heart of Montana's rugged wilderness, a mysterious tale unfolded that would challenge everything Sarah Mitchell knew about faith, instinct, and the unspoken bonds between humans and animals. One weathered mare's relentless vigil at an abandoned barn would lead to a discovery that would shake their small ranching community to its core, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary stories begin with a simple act of paying attention. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. Sarah's eyes fluttered open at dawn, drawn to the familiar silhouette outside her bedroom window. There she was again, Luna, their oldest mare, standing motionless before the padlocked doors of the abandoned Murphy barn. For 3 straight days, the horse had maintained this peculiar ritual, ignoring food and rest, her gaze fixed on the weathered wooden structure as if it held secrets only she could sense. The early morning light filtered through the frost-kissed windows of Sarah's century-old farmhouse, casting long shadows across the wooden floors. Her boots creaked against the aged boards as she made her way downstairs, her mind preoccupied with Luna's bizarre behavior. The mare had always been intuitive, but this was different. There was an urgency in her stance that Sarah had never seen before. "She's out there again," Tom, Sarah's father, remarked from his spot at the kitchen table, his calloused hands wrapped around a steaming cup of coffee. His weathered face creased with concern as he watched Luna through the window. Never seen anything like it in 40 years of ranching. Sarah pulled on her heavy winter coat, her breath visible in the crisp mountain air as she stepped onto the porch. The Murphy barn stood like a sentinel against the backdrop of snow-capped peaks, its faded red paint peeling away to reveal the grey wood beneath. It had been abandoned for nearly a decade, ever since old Jack Murphy passed away, leaving no heirs to claim his property. As Sarah approached Luna, the mare's ears twitched in acknowledgement, but her eyes remained fixed on the barn doors. There was something almost human in her persistence, a determination that transcended mere animal instinct. Sarah ran her hand along Luna's neck, feeling the tension in the horse's muscles. "What are you trying to tell us, girl?" she whispered, studying the barn with renewed interest. The padlock that had secured the doors for years hung heavy and rusted, a testament to time's passing, but now, looking closer, Sarah noticed something odd, fresh scuff marks on the wooden doors, as if something had recently tried to force its way in or out. The discovery sent a chill down her spine that had nothing to do with the morning frost. Tom joined her, his boots crunching in the snow. "Maybe it's time we found out what's in there," he said, already heading back to the house for tools. Word spread quickly through the small community of Willow Creek. By mid-morning, a small crowd had gathered, ranchers, farmers, and curious locals, all drawn by the story of the horse that wouldn't leave the barn alone. Among them was Dr. Emma Hayes, the local veterinarian, her medical bag in hand just in case. "Animals have instincts we're only beginning to understand," Emma said, watching as Tom worked on the old lock. "There are countless stories of them sensing things we can't." The lock finally gave way with a reluctant groan, decades of rust surrendering to modern tools. As Tom pulled the chain free, an unusual sound emerged from within the barn, a weak, muffled whimper that made Luna's ears prick forward. Sarah's heart pounded as her father slowly pulled the heavy doors open. The morning light pierced the darkness inside, revealing years of dust and abandonment. But there, in the furthest corner, barely visible in the shadows, was something that made everyone gasp. A young horse lay curled up on its side, its black coat matted and dull, ribs visible through its skin. It was clearly injured, its breathing shallow and labored. But most shocking of all was the remarkable resemblance it bore to Luna. The same distinctive white star on its forehead, the same proud arch of its neck, though now weakened by hardship. Luna pushed past them, moving with purpose toward the injured horse. The younger animal lifted its head weakly, meeting Luna's gaze. There was recognition in that look, an understanding that transcended explanation. Dr. Hayes moved forward, her experienced eyes assessing the situation. "This horse is severely dehydrated and malnourished," she announced, already reaching for her medical supplies. "But there's something else. Look at this marking. It's identical to Luna's." The implications hit Sarah like a physical force. 10 years ago, Luna had lost a foal. Stolen, they'd suspected, though no trace was ever found. The timing, the markings, the inexplicable connection. Could it be? "She knew," Sarah whispered, watching as Luna gently nuzzled the younger horse. Somehow, she knew her baby was here. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Dr. Hayes worked tirelessly, treating the horse's immediate needs, while Tom and several neighbors constructed a makeshift shelter to transport it to Sarah's barn. Throughout it all, Luna remained close, as if making up for 10 years of lost time. Questions swirled through the community. How had the horse ended up in the Murphy barn? Who had locked it away? The local sheriff arrived to document everything, promising a full investigation into what was clearly a case of severe neglect, if not outright cruelty. But for Sarah, watching Luna stand guard over her long-lost foal, those questions could wait. She was witnessing something extraordinary. A mother's love that had never wavered, an instinct that had persisted across a decade of separation. It was a reminder that some bonds transcend time and distance, that faith and persistence sometimes lead to miracles. As the sun set on that remarkable day, Sarah sat in her barn, watching Luna and her foal together at last. The younger horse was already showing signs of improvement under Dr. Hayes's care, its eyes brighter, its breathing steadier. Luna hadn't moved from its side, her protective stance a declaration that she would never let her child go again. "You never gave up," Sarah said softly, reaching out to stroke Luna's mane. "All these years, you kept that love alive in your heart." The story of Luna and her vigil at the Murphy barn would soon spread far beyond Willow Creek, touching hearts and inspiring souls with its testament to the power of maternal love and instinct. But for now, in the quiet of that Montana evening, Sarah simply witnessed the reunion of two hearts that had never truly been separated. The real work, nursing the young horse back to health, understanding its past, and ensuring justice was served, lay ahead. But looking at Luna's unwavering dedication, Sarah knew they would face it all together, guided by the same determination that had led them to this moment. The first rays of dawn found Sarah in the barn, her eyes heavy from a sleepless night, spent watching over the rescued horse. Dr. Hayes had stayed late, administering fluids and antibiotics, her face grave as she documented the extent of neglect. The young horse, whom they'd started calling Hope, lay on a thick bed of fresh straw, her breathing steadier but still labored. Luna hadn't moved from Hope's side, her protective stance unwavering. There was something almost regal in her, vigilance, a quiet strength that seemed to flow between mother and child. Sarah watched as Luna gently nuzzled Hope's neck, nickering softly, a sound she hadn't heard the mare make in years. "Coffee?" Tom appeared at her side, holding out a steaming mug. His eyes were tired but alert, studying Hope's condition with the experienced gaze of a lifelong rancher. "She made it through the night. That's something." Sarah accepted the coffee gratefully, warming her hands around the mug. "Did you see how she responded to Luna's presence? Even in that state, she knew. She recognized her mother." A comfortable silence fell between them, broken only by the soft sounds of horses breathing and the distant call of morning birds. The barn was Sarah's favorite place at dawn. The way the light filtered through the old boards, the smell of hay and leather, the quiet contentment of animals at peace. But today, everything felt different, charged with both hope and uncertainty. Dr. Hayes arrived early, her truck crunching on the gravel outside. She carried her medical bag and a larger case of supplies, her expression businesslike but kind. "Let's see how our patient is doing this morning." The examination was thorough, each touch gentle but purposeful. Hope flinched occasionally, especially when Dr. Hayes checked her legs, but Luna's presence seemed to calm her. The vet's findings were sobering. "The good news is she's responding well to the initial treatment," Dr. Hayes explained, straightening up. "But we're looking at extensive rehabilitation. There's muscle atrophy, possible nerve damage in the left hind leg, and signs of old injuries that never properly healed." Sarah's throat tightened. "But she can recover. With proper care, time, and a lot of patience, yes. The fact that she's young works in her favor. But Sarah—" Dr. Hayes paused, her voice softening. "This level of neglect, these injuries. Someone did this deliberately. The sheriff needs to know everything we find." As if on cue, Sheriff Marcus Bennett's patrol car pulled up outside. The sheriff was a tall man with kind eyes and a reputation for thoroughness. He'd known Sarah's family for years, had even helped search for Luna's foal when it was first stolen. "Quite a situation we have here," he said, notebook in hand. "I've got deputies checking records, trying to piece together who might have had access to the Murphy property. But I need to document everything, every injury, every detail that might tell us what happened." While Dr. Hayes walked the sheriff through her findings, Sarah noticed movement from Hope. The young horse was trying to lift her head, her eyes seeking Luna. Without hesitation, Luna stepped closer, allowing Hope to rest her head against her leg. The gesture was so tender, so instinctively maternal, that Sarah felt tears prick at her eyes. Word of Hope's rescue had spread through the community like wildfire. Throughout the morning, neighbors began arriving, some bringing supplies, others offering help or simply wanting to witness the miracle for themselves. Among them was Margaret Chen, who owned the local feed store. "I brought some special blend feed," Margaret said, setting down several bags. "High in nutrients, easy to digest, and some supplements Dr. Hayes recommended." She paused, watching. "Luna and Hope. You know, my grandmother used to say that a mother's love can move mountains. Looks like she was right." Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. The day passed in a blur of activity. Dr. Hayes taught Sarah and Tom how to administer medications and change bandages. They set up a careful feeding schedule, small, frequent meals, to help Hope's system adjust. Through it all, Luna remained a constant presence, as if making up for 10 years of lost protection. Late in the afternoon, Emily Watson from the local newspaper arrived. She was a thoughtful reporter who cared more about truth than sensation. "This story, it's not just about a rescued horse," she said, watching Luna guide Hope through taking a few sips of water. "It's about never giving up, about the power of instinct and love. People need to hear this." Sarah agreed to an interview, knowing that sharing their story might help prevent other animals from suffering similar fates. As she recounted the events, Luna's vigil, the discovery, the reunion, she found herself speaking about deeper truths. "We humans think we know everything," she told Emily. "We build our world with logic and reason. But there are forces we can't explain, connections that defy our understanding." Luna never stopped believing. She never stopped searching. And somehow, against all odds, she led us to her child. The sheriff returned as the sun was setting, his expression somber. "We've found something," he said, pulling Tom and Sarah aside. "There's been a string of similar cases across 3 states. Horses stolen, hidden away, used for insurance fraud schemes. We think Hope might be connected." The news hit Sarah like a physical blow. The idea that someone could systematically abuse animals for profit made her stomach turn. But looking at Hope, seeing her respond to Luna's care, Sarah felt something else. Determination. "Whatever happened before, she's safe now," she said firmly, "and we're going to help her heal." That evening, as the barn settled into nighttime quiet, Sarah sat on a bale of hay, watching mother and daughter together. Hope had managed to stand briefly with help, her legs trembling but holding. Luna had stayed right beside her, offering support and encouragement in ways that transcended human understanding. Margaret's words about a mother's love moving mountains echoed in Sarah's mind, but there was more to this story. It was about faith, about trusting instincts even when logic said otherwise. Luna's persistence had not only led to Hope's rescue, but had sparked something in their community, reminding everyone that sometimes the most powerful forces in life are the ones we can't explain. Dr. Hayes had left detailed instructions for overnight care, but Sarah knew she wouldn't sleep much. Each small victory, Hope accepting food, responding to touch, showing trust, felt like a step away from darkness and toward healing. The road ahead would be long, but they would walk it together. As if reading her thoughts, Luna turned to look at Sarah, her eyes wise and knowing. In that moment, Sarah understood that she wasn't just witnessing a rescue. She was part of a resurrection of spirit, a testament to the endurance of love and the triumph of instinct over impossibility. Outside, the Montana night was alive with stars, each one a witness to the miracle unfolding in a simple barn, where a mother's unwavering faith had finally led her home to her child, and where healing was beginning through the simple power of her presence and unconditional love. The first week of Hope's recovery unfolded like a delicate dance between setbacks and breakthroughs. Each morning brought new challenges, but also small victories that kindled their determination. Dr. Hayes had become a daily presence at the barn, her expertise guiding them through the intricate process of rehabilitation. "The swelling in her leg is finally starting to respond to treatment," Dr. Hayes noted, carefully unwrapping the bandages. "But we need to start thinking about physical therapy soon. Her muscles have weakened considerably from disuse." Sarah watched as the vet worked, mentally cataloging every instruction. The morning sun streamed through the barn windows, illuminating Hope's coat, still dull, but showing hints of the gleaming black it would become with proper care. Luna stood nearby, her attention never wavering from her daughter. The investigation into Hope's past had gained momentum. Sheriff Bennett arrived with new information that morning, his expression grim but determined. "We've identified a suspect," he announced, showing them photographs of a man named James Cooper. "He's been running a sophisticated scheme, stealing horses for insurance fraud. But this time he made mistakes. Your Luna's persistence exposed everything." The news spread quickly through Willow Creek, touching something deep in the community's collective conscience. People began arriving at the barn in greater numbers, not just to help but to witness something they sensed was extraordinary. Among them was Daniel Rivera, a retired military veteran who specialized in equine therapy. "I've worked with traumatized horses before," Daniel offered, observing Hope's behavior with experienced eyes. "Physical recovery is crucial, but the emotional healing, that's where the real challenge lies. These animals remember everything. They carry their past in their bodies, in their reactions." His words struck a chord with Sarah. She'd noticed how Hope startled at sudden movements, how she seemed to brace herself when anyone except Luna approached. The physical wounds were visible, but the invisible scars ran deeper. Daniel began visiting daily, bringing with him a gentle approach that seemed to resonate with Hope. He taught Sarah and Tom techniques for reading horse body language, for recognizing signs of stress and progress. "It's about building trust," he explained. "Every positive interaction helps rewrite their story." One morning, as Sarah arrived at the barn, she found Luna doing something remarkable. The mare was gently nudging Hope, encouraging her to take small steps forward. Hope's movements were hesitant, but there was determination in her effort. Luna matched her pace perfectly, providing support without forcing progress. "She's being a physical therapist," Dr. Hayes observed, arriving for her morning check. "Instinctively, she knows exactly what Hope needs. This is why having her mother here is so crucial to her recovery." The moment became a turning point. With Luna's encouragement, Hope began showing more interest in movement. Daniel incorporated this natural dynamic into his therapy sessions, using Luna's presence to help Hope rebuild her confidence and strength. The community's involvement deepened. Margaret Chen organized a schedule of volunteers to help with barn duties, allowing Sarah and Tom to focus on Hope's care. Emily Watson's newspaper article had touched hearts beyond their small town, bringing support from unexpected places. A package arrived from a specialty equine rehabilitation center in Kentucky, new therapeutic equipment and supplies, sent by someone who'd read about Hope's story. Local children began stopping by after school, sitting quietly near the barn, drawing pictures of Luna and Hope, leaving them pinned to the walls like tokens of faith. But it wasn't all smooth progress. Some days, Hope seemed to retreat into herself, overwhelmed by memories only she could see. During these times, Luna's presence became even more vital, her steady devotion an anchor in the storm of recovery. "Animals process trauma differently than humans," Daniel explained during a particularly difficult day. "They live in the present, but their past can hijack their responses. What we're seeing is Hope learning to trust her present safety more than her past fears." Sarah found herself learning as much as Hope. Every day brought new insights into the depth of animal consciousness, the complexity of healing, and the remarkable capacity for resilience. She started keeping a journal, documenting not just Hope's physical progress, but the subtle ways mother and daughter were rebuilding their bond. One entry read, "Today, Hope let Luna groom her neck. First time she's allowed prolonged touch in that area. Luna knew exactly how gentle to be, where to avoid. Watched them for an hour, saw how they communicate without a sound. There's so much we don't understand about the depths of their awareness." The sheriff's investigation continued to uncover disturbing details. Cooper's operation had victimized dozens of horses across multiple states. Evidence suggested Hope had been kept in various locations before ending up in the Murphy barn, likely abandoned there when the scheme started unraveling. "But here's what I don't understand," Sheriff Bennett said, reviewing his notes. "Of all the places they could have hidden her, why here, so close to her mother?" Sarah had a theory about that. "Maybe it wasn't just chance," she suggested. "Maybe Hope found a way to be found. Animals have abilities we're only beginning to comprehend." The theory gained weight when Dr. Hayes discovered something interesting during a routine examination. "Look at this," she said, pointing to Hope's hooves. "These wear patterns suggest she traveled a significant distance before ending up in that barn. She wasn't just placed there, she made her way there." The revelation added another layer to their unfolding miracle. The idea that Hope had somehow navigated back to the vicinity of her mother, that some invisible thread of connection had drawn them together after all these years, touched something profound in everyone who heard the story. Local artists began creating works inspired by Luna and Hope. A painter captured the moment of their reunion in oils, depicting the light breaking through the barn doors. A songwriter composed a ballad about a mother's unwavering faith. The story had tapped into something universal, something that spoke to the human heart about love, persistence, and the mysteries of connection. Daniel introduced new elements to Hope's therapy routine. Using Luna's natural protective instincts, he designed exercises that helped Hope rebuild muscle while feeling secure. "Every creature needs to feel safe before they can heal," he explained. "Luna provides that safety, that unwavering acceptance Hope needs to push through her fears." The breakthroughs, when they came, were breathtaking. The first time Hope walked steadily across the barn on her own, Luna matching her step for step. The morning she finally allowed Sarah to touch her without flinching. The day she nickered in response to Luna's call, a sound of joy they hadn't heard since her rescue. "What we're witnessing," Dr. Hayes said one evening, watching Luna and Hope share a quiet moment, "is more than just physical healing. It's the restoration of a bond that was meant to be unbreakable. Everything Luna did, standing at that barn day after day, it was her way of saying she never stopped being a mother." As the sun set on another day of small victories and patient progress, Sarah sat in her usual spot updating her journal. The barn was peaceful, filled with the soft sounds of horses breathing and hay rustling. Luna stood protectively near Hope, who was dozing lightly, her body more relaxed than they'd ever seen it. "You know what amazes me most?" Daniel said softly, preparing to leave for the day. "It's not just that Luna never gave up. It's that somehow, against all odds, Hope held on too. They both kept faith in a connection that everyone else thought was lost forever." Sarah nodded, understanding flowing between them. In a world that often seemed dark and chaotic, Luna and Hope's story shone like a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that love, in its purest, most instinctive form, could indeed move mountains, bridge impossible distances, and heal the deepest wounds. Outside, the Montana evening painted the sky in shades of purple and gold, while inside the barn, a miracle continued to unfold, one gentle moment at a time. It was a testament not just to the power of maternal love, but to the endurance of spirit, the strength of instinct, and the remarkable capacity for healing when faith and love light the way forward. As days melted into weeks, Hope's transformation began to manifest in ways that touched everyone who witnessed it. The turning point came on a crisp autumn morning when Dr. Hayes arrived for her regular checkup. Instead of finding Hope in her usual corner, she discovered the young mare standing in the center of her stall, head held higher than they'd ever seen it. "This is remarkable," Dr. Hayes breathed, conducting her examination with practiced hands. "The muscle tone is improving, and look, she's bearing weight evenly on all 4 legs now." She stepped back, a rare smile breaking across her professional demeanor. She's not just surviving anymore, she's starting to thrive. Luna's influence on Hope's recovery had become a subject of fascination for Daniel, who had started documenting their interactions for a study on equine emotional intelligence. "Watch this," he said one morning, pointing to Luna's behavior. The older mare had developed a routine of gentle exercises with Hope, instinctively knowing when to push and when to step back. "It's like watching a master therapist at work," Daniel explained to Sarah. "Luna understands Hope's limitations better than any of us could. She's not just providing emotional support, she's actively participating in the rehabilitation process." The community's involvement had evolved as well. What started as a story of rescue had become a movement of sorts. Margaret Chen had organized a network of local farmers to donate specialized feed and supplements. The local carpenter, Jim Russell, spent weekends modifying the barn to accommodate Hope's therapy equipment. Emily Watson's follow-up articles in the newspaper had caught the attention of animal welfare organizations nationwide. One morning, Sarah received a call from the director of a prestigious equine rehabilitation center in Colorado. "What you're doing there," the director said, "is groundbreaking. The bond between Luna and Hope, the way you're incorporating maternal instinct into the recovery process. We'd like to document this as a case study for future rehabilitation programs." The attention brought both opportunities and challenges. While the support was overwhelming, Sarah was protective of Hope's space and progress. "We need to maintain the environment of trust we've created," she insisted during a meeting with various interested parties. "Hope's recovery isn't a spectacle, it's a sacred process of healing." Sheriff Bennett's investigation had made significant progress. James Cooper had been arrested in Idaho, and evidence of his horse trafficking operation was mounting. "We've identified at least 30 other horses," he reported grimly. "But Hope's case might be the key to bringing down the entire network." The news hit Sarah hard. The scope of the cruelty was difficult to comprehend, but Hope's story had become a catalyst for change. Other rescued horses were being discovered and saved, their own journeys of healing beginning. Daniel introduced a new element to Hope's therapy: interaction with other horses. Under Luna's watchful eye, they carefully introduced friendly horses from neighboring farms. The socialization was crucial for Hope's emotional recovery, helping her remember how to be part of a herd again. "Every horse has a role in the herd," Daniel explained to a group of veterinary students who had come to observe. "What we're seeing is Hope rediscovering her place in the world, not just as Luna's." daughter but as her own being. The progress wasn't always linear. There were days when old fears surfaced, when hope would retreat into herself, trembling at shadows. But even these moments had transformed. Now, when fear gripped her, hope would seek out Luna instead of trying to hide. It was a profound shift in trust and self-preservation. Sarah's journal entries from this period captured the subtle but significant changes. Today, Hope approached the pasture gate on her own. Luna stayed back, watching. It was the first time Hope showed curiosity without needing her mother's immediate presence. When she got nervous, she looked back, saw Luna, and found her courage again. It wasn't just about physical healing anymore. She was learning to trust herself. The relationship between mother and daughter continued to evolve in fascinating ways. Luna began stepping back gradually, allowing Hope more independence while remaining a steady, reassuring presence. It was as if she understood that true healing meant helping Hope find her own strength. Dr. Hayes noted the physical manifestations of this emotional growth. Her body is responding to her improved mental state, she observed. The tension she carried in her muscles is dissolving. Even her coat has a different sheen now. This is what holistic healing looks like. The story's impact rippled outward in unexpected ways. A local artist, Maria Gonzalez, began offering art therapy sessions at the barn, encouraging troubled youth to connect with Hope's journey of recovery. These kids relate to her story, Maria explained. They understand what it means to be hurt and to find healing through love and patience. One afternoon, a young girl named Sophie, who rarely spoke due to past trauma, spent an hour simply sitting near Hope's stall, drawing. When she finally showed her picture to Sarah, it revealed something remarkable. She had captured the moment Hope first recognized Luna, but from Hope's perspective. The drawing showed the world through the eyes of a wounded soul seeing love for the first time in years. Sometimes, Daniel reflected, watching Sophie interact with the horses, the greatest healing happens in the spaces between the obvious moments. It's in the quiet understanding between beings who have known suffering and found their way back to trust. The physical therapy sessions had evolved into something more comprehensive. Hope was now able to walk the length of the paddock, her gait growing stronger each day. Luna would walk beside her, then gradually increase the distance between them, teaching Hope to balance independence with security. What we're witnessing, Dr. Hayes told a documentary crew that had come to film Hope's recovery, is more than just physical rehabilitation. It's a masterclass in emotional healing, taught by a mother who never gave up and a daughter who found the courage to trust again. The barn had become a place of pilgrimage of sorts, drawing people seeking inspiration and hope. Sarah made sure to protect Hope's space while allowing her story to touch others. Local schools organized field trips, using Hope's journey as a lesson in resilience and compassion. One memorable moment came when a group of at-risk teenagers visited the barn. Among them was a young boy named Marcus, known for his anger and distrust. As he watched Luna and Hope together, something shifted in his expression. "They're like us, aren't they?" he said quietly to Sarah. "Sometimes you just need someone to believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself." The wisdom in his words struck Sarah deeply. Hope's story had become more than just a tale of animal rescue. It was a mirror reflecting universal truths about healing, trust, and the transformative power of unconditional love. As autumn deepened, bringing crisp mornings and golden light, Hope's progress continued to amaze everyone involved in her care. She'd begun to show personality traits that had been buried under layers of trauma: a playful spirit, a gentle curiosity, and most remarkably, a desire to connect with others. "This is why we never give up," Daniel told Sarah one evening, as they watched Luna and Hope share a peaceful moment in the pasture. "Because healing isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about rediscovering the joy that was there all along, waiting to be set free." The sun set on another day of progress, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple. In the barn, Hope stood strong and steady, her eyes clear and bright, while Luna maintained her protective vigil. Their story had become a testament to the resilience of the spirit and the enduring power of a mother's love, a reminder that even in the darkest places, hope could find its way home. A breakthrough moment arrived on a brisk morning when Dr. Hayes discovered something unexpected during her examination of Hope. The young mare's blood work showed remarkable improvement, and her muscle tone had developed beyond their most optimistic projections. But it was Hope's response to a new therapy technique that truly astonished everyone. Daniel had introduced a revolutionary approach to equine rehabilitation, music therapy combined with gentle movement exercises. The barn now resonated with classical melodies, carefully chosen to match the natural rhythm of a horse's walking pace. The effect on Hope was immediate and profound. "Look at her response to the rhythm," Daniel pointed out, as Hope moved with newfound grace. "She's not just walking, she's dancing." Luna, ever attentive, seemed to adapt her own movements to the music, creating a synchronized harmony between mother and daughter that brought tears to observers' eyes. Sarah's journal entry that evening captured the magic of the moment. Today, Hope didn't just recover, she transformed. Watching her move to the music, seeing the joy in her steps, it was like witnessing the birth of something entirely new. Luna matched her every move, their bond expressing itself in a dance of healing and hope. The news spread quickly through the equine therapy community. Dr. Catherine Chen, a renowned expert in equine behavioral science, arrived from Berkeley to observe this unprecedented rehabilitation approach. "What you've created here," she remarked, watching Hope and Luna move together, "is a completely new paradigm in animal rehabilitation. The combination of maternal bonding, music therapy, and natural movement is revolutionary." The impact extended beyond the scientific community. Local schools began incorporating Hope's story into their curriculum, teaching children about empathy, perseverance, and the healing power of love. The art therapy sessions led by Maria Gonzalez had expanded, now including veterans struggling with PTSD who found solace in witnessing Hope's journey. One such veteran, James Morrison, found particular resonance with Hope's story. "When I came back from deployment," he shared during a therapy session, "I thought I was beyond healing. But watching Hope, seeing how she fought back from her trauma with Luna's help, it showed me that no one is ever too broken to heal." Sheriff Bennett's investigation had taken an unexpected turn. The evidence collected from Hope's case had led to the discovery of a larger criminal network. "What started with one horse's rescue," he announced during a community meeting, "has now helped us save dozens of animals across 5 states. Hope's story didn't just change her life, it's changing the entire system." The transformation in Hope's physical appearance was striking. Her once dull coat now gleamed in the sunlight, her eyes bright with intelligence and curiosity. But it was her willingness to connect with others that truly marked her progress. She began initiating contact with other horses, showing particular gentleness with younger foals that visited the barn. Daniel observed this development with professional interest. "She's not just healing," he explained to a group of visiting veterinary students. "She's paying it forward. The nurturing she received from Luna, she's now extending to others. It's a remarkable example of how healing can ripple outward." Dr. Hayes had started documenting every aspect of Hope's recovery for a groundbreaking research paper. "The physical healing was just the beginning," she noted. "What we're seeing now is the emergence of an entirely new therapeutic approach, one that recognizes the profound connection between emotional bonds and physical recovery." The barn had become a sanctuary of sorts, not just for Hope and Luna, but for anyone seeking inspiration in their own journey of healing. Sarah maintained careful boundaries to protect Hope's space, but she also recognized the importance of sharing their story. A particularly moving moment came when a young girl named Maya, who had lost her mother, spent an afternoon watching Luna and Hope. "They show us that love doesn't die," she said softly. "It just finds new ways to reach us." The music therapy sessions evolved into regular concerts, where Hope and Luna would move together in the paddock, their movements becoming more fluid and coordinated with each passing day. Local musicians began offering to play live music, creating a unique blend of art and healing that drew visitors from across the country. One morning, as the first snow of winter dusted the ground, Hope did something extraordinary. During her therapy session, she broke away from her usual routine and approached a group of visiting children. With gentle curiosity, she lowered her head, allowing them to touch her, something that would have been unthinkable months ago. "This is more than just recovery," Daniel remarked, watching the interaction. "This is transformation at its deepest level. She's not just overcoming a past, she's creating a new future." The documentary crew that had been following Hope's journey captured this moment, along with countless others that illustrated the remarkable depth of healing possible when love, science, and patience work together. Their footage would later become part of a groundbreaking film about animal consciousness and the power of maternal bonds. Luna's role had subtly shifted as Hope gained independence. While still protective, she now watched from a distance more often, allowing her daughter to explore and interact on her own terms. It was a beautiful demonstration of maternal wisdom, knowing when to hold close and when to let go. Dr. Chen's research team had begun studying the unique vocal patterns between Luna and Hope, discovering a complex language of sounds that seemed to convey emotions and intentions. "They've developed their own communication system," she explained. "It's more sophisticated than anything we've documented before in trauma recovery cases." The impact on the local community continued to grow. The Willow Creek Council had designated their town as a sanctuary city for rescued animals, inspired by Hope's story. New protocols were established for handling animal abuse cases, with emphasis on rehabilitation and emotional healing. Sarah's journal entries from this period reflected the broader implications of their journey. What started as one horse's vigil at a barn door has become a movement. Hope's story is teaching us about the depths of animal consciousness, the power of maternal love, and the endless possibilities for healing when we dare to believe in miracles. As winter settled over Montana, the barn remained a warm haven of healing and hope. The music therapy sessions continued, now accompanied by the soft fall of snow outside. Hope's movements had become so graceful that visitors often stopped in, mid-conversation, to watch her, mesmerized by the transformation they were witnessing. "You know what's truly remarkable?" Dr. Hayes said one evening as they watched Hope and Luna share a peaceful moment in their stall. "It's not just the physical recovery or even the emotional healing. It's how their story has created a ripple effect of hope in so many lives. They've shown us that healing is possible, no matter how deep the wounds." The sun set on another day of progress, casting long shadows through the barn windows. Hope stood tall and strong, her presence radiating, a calm confidence that touched everyone who saw her. Luna remained nearby, their bond now transformed into something even more profound, a partnership in healing that had changed not just their lives, but the lives of countless others who witnessed their journey. In the quiet of the evening, as Sarah made her final checks, she realized that they had created something extraordinary. Not just a rehabilitation program, but a testament to the power of love, faith, and the unbreakable bonds that connect all living beings. Hope's story had become a beacon of light, illuminating the path forward for others seeking their way back from darkness to light. Winter gave way to early spring, bringing with it an unexpected visitor who would change the trajectory of Hope's story once again. Dr. Alexandra Reeves, founder of the prestigious Wild Heart Equine Sanctuary, arrived unannounced one morning, drawn by the reports of Hope's remarkable recovery. "I've worked with rescued horses for 30 years, she said, watching Hope move through her morning exercises. "But what you've achieved here, it's unprecedented. The combination of maternal bonding and innovative therapy techniques. It's creating a new model for rehabilitation." The sanctuary director's visit coincided with a milestone in Hope's recovery. That morning, for the first time, Hope had galloped freely across the paddock, her movements fluid and confident, showing no signs of her previous injuries. Luna had watched from the fence line, her proud stance reflecting the magnitude of the moment. "She's not just running," Daniel observed, his voice thick with emotion. "She's reclaiming her freedom, her spirit." The sight of Hope's powerful strides, her mane flowing in the wind, brought tears to the eyes of everyone present. It was more than physical healing. It was the restoration of a soul. Dr. Reeves spent several days studying the unique dynamics between Hope and Luna, particularly interested in how their bond had evolved during the rehabilitation process. "Most recovery programs focus solely on physical therapy," she noted, "but you've tapped into something deeper, the healing power of maternal love, combined with innovative therapeutic approaches." The sanctuary director's presence attracted attention from the international equine rehabilitation community. Specialists from Europe and Asia began requesting permission to observe and document Hope's ongoing recovery. Sarah maintained careful control over these visits, ensuring they didn't disrupt the peaceful environment they'd created. One morning, as dawn painted the sky in soft pastels, something extraordinary happened. Hope approached a new rescue horse that had arrived at the neighboring farm, a traumatized mare that refused to let anyone near her. To everyone's amazement, Hope demonstrated the same gentle patience that Luna had shown her. "She's becoming a healer herself," Dr. Reeves observed, watching the interaction. "This is remarkable, a formerly traumatized animal now helping others overcome their fears. It's a testament to the transformative power of love and proper rehabilitation. The impact of Hope's story continued to ripple outward. The local university's veterinary program developed a new curriculum focused on emotional healing in animals, using Hope's case as a central study. Dr. Hayes and Daniel collaborated on a groundbreaking paper about the role of maternal bonds in trauma recovery. Sarah's journal entries from this period captured the deeper implications of their journey. Today, I watched Hope guide another scared horse through its first steps of trust. Luna stood nearby, watching her daughter become a teacher in her own right. It made me realize that healing isn't just about getting better. It's about using our experiences to light the way for others. The music therapy sessions had evolved into something even more profound. Local musicians now collaborated with equine therapists, creating specialized compositions that matched the natural rhythms of horse movement. The combination of music, movement, and maternal bonding became known as the Hope Protocol, attracting attention from rehabilitation centers worldwide. Dr. Reeves proposed something unprecedented, using Hope's story as the foundation for a new type of equine rehabilitation center, one that would combine traditional therapy with the innovative approaches developed during Hope's recovery. "What you've created here shouldn't be limited to one barn in Montana," she explained. "This could help thousands of traumatized animals." The proposal sparked intense discussion within the community. Sarah was protective of Hope and Luna, wanting to ensure their well-being remained the priority, but she also recognized the potential impact their story could have on animal rehabilitation practices worldwide. A solution emerged through collaboration. Instead of moving Hope and Luna, they would establish the center around them, allowing other rescued horses to benefit from their presence while maintaining the peaceful environment that had facilitated their healing. The announcement of the new center coincided with another milestone in Hope's recovery. During a morning therapy session, she demonstrated a new behavior that left everyone speechless. Hope began guiding younger horses through their therapy exercises, showing an intuitive understanding of their limitations and fears. "She's not just recovered," Daniel explained to a group of visiting specialists. "She's evolved into something extraordinary, a bridge between traumatized animals and their healing. She understands their pain because she's walked that path, and she shows them the way forward with the same patience Luna showed her." The spring brought new life to the ranch. Flowers bloomed in the paddock, their colors matching the renewed spirit of hope that permeated the air. Luna and Hope's story had transformed from a tale of rescue to a living testament of the healing power of love and persistence. Sheriff Bennett's investigation had led to systemic changes in how law enforcement handled animal abuse cases. Hope's case showed us that rescue is just the beginning, he explained during a law enforcement conference. True justice includes ensuring these animals have the support they need to heal completely. The art therapy program expanded, now including regular sessions where people could observe Hope and Luna while creating. The resulting artwork, displayed in a local gallery, captured the essence of their journey: the pain of separation, the miracle of reunion, and the triumph of healing. One piece, created by a recovering addict named Michael, particularly moved visitors. It showed Hope and Luna as beacons of light in darkness, their forms intertwined in a dance of healing that seemed to illuminate everything around them. They showed me that no matter how lost you feel, Love can guide you home, Michael explained. Dr. Reeves's presence catalyzed new developments in their therapeutic approach. She introduced elements from global healing traditions, including sound, therapy and energy work, which complemented the existing program. The results were remarkable, with Hope showing even greater awareness and ability to connect with other traumatized animals. What we're witnessing, Dr. Reeves explained to a documentary crew, is the evolution of healing. Hope and Luna have shown us that recovery isn't just about physical rehabilitation. It's about restoring the spirit, rebuilding trust, and rekindling the light within. The spring days lengthened, filled with the sound of horses moving freely, music floating on the breeze, and the quiet miracle of healing taking place in countless small moments. Hope's story had become a symphony of recovery, each note contributing to a larger composition of healing and hope. As Sarah watched Hope guide another rescued horse through its fears, Luna standing proudly nearby, she realized that their journey had become something far greater than a simple rescue. It had evolved into a movement, a new understanding of the depths of animal consciousness and the boundless potential for healing when love lights the way. The sun set on another day of transformation, casting long shadows across the paddock, where Hope now moved with the grace and confidence of a horse who had not just survived, but transcended her trauma. Her story had become a beacon of hope, illuminating the path forward for others who needed to believe in the possibility of healing. In the quiet of evening, as the stars began to appear, Sarah made a final note in her journal. Hope's name has become her legacy. She shows us that even in our darkest moments, there is always a path back to light, always a chance for renewal, always hope for a new beginning. And sometimes that hope comes in the form of a mother who never stops believing, and a daughter who finds the courage to trust again. As spring blossomed into summer, the ranch transformed into a buzzing center of innovation and healing. The establishment of the Hope Equine Recovery Center brought new challenges and opportunities, but it was a single remarkable event that would define this chapter of their journey. A young filmmaker named Maya Chen arrived from Los Angeles, her reputation for capturing animal stories with unusual sensitivity preceding her. "I've documented wildlife rehabilitation around the world," she explained, setting up her equipment in the barn. "But there's something unique happening here, something that could change how we understand animal consciousness." Maya's presence coincided with an extraordinary development in Hope's behavior. The young mare had begun exhibiting what Dr. Reeves termed empathetic anticipation, an ability to sense and respond to other horses' emotional needs before they displayed obvious signs of distress. "Watch this," Daniel pointed out one morning, as a newly rescued horse arrived. Before anyone could intervene, Hope approached the frightened animal with calculated gentleness, positioning herself exactly as Luna had done for her months ago. The parallel was striking. The student had become the teacher. The most profound moment came during a therapy session with a severely traumatized stallion named Thunder. Other rehabilitators had deemed him too dangerous for traditional approaches, but Hope's response to him left everyone speechless. "She's creating a safe space for him," Dr. Hayes observed, watching Hope guide Thunder through his fears. "She's literally showing him how to trust again, using the very techniques Luna used with her." Thunder's transformation under Hope's influence became the centerpiece of Maya's documentary. The footage captured moments of breakthrough that brought tears to even the most seasoned professionals' eyes. Over weeks, Thunder went from aggressive and fearful to calm and engaged, mirroring Hope's own journey. Sarah's journal entry from this period revealed the deeper implications. It's not just about healing anymore. Hope has developed an almost mystical ability to connect with troubled souls. She remembers her own journey from darkness to light, and somehow she's learned to guide others along that same path. The success with Thunder attracted attention from the global equine therapy community. Dr. Marissa Santos, a leading researcher in animal consciousness from Brazil, arrived to study what she called the Hope effect, the unique combination of intuitive healing and learned behavior that Hope demonstrated. What we're seeing here, Dr. Santos explained during a seminar, challenges everything we thought we knew about animal rehabilitation. Hope isn't just recovering, she's actively evolving our understanding of what's possible. Luna's role had also evolved. She now worked alongside Hope, creating a unique mother-daughter healing team. Their synchronized movements during therapy sessions became a dance of healing that mesmerized observers and soothed troubled horses. The music therapy program expanded under the guidance of Dr. David Kim, a neurologist specializing in sound healing. He introduced new elements that combined classical compositions with natural horse rhythms, creating what he called healing soundscapes. One morning, during a particularly powerful session, something unprecedented occurred. Hope and Luna began, moving in perfect synchronization with the music, leading a group of recovering horses in what appeared to be a choreographed dance of healing. "This is beyond rehabilitation," Dr. Kim remarked, watching in awe. "This is the emergence of a new form of healing art, born from the fusion of human innovation and animal intuition." The ranch had become a living laboratory of healing, but Sarah maintained its spiritual heart. She insisted on preserving the quiet moments, the sacred spaces where horses could simply be, where healing could unfold in its own time. Maya's camera captured these intimate moments, Hope gently grooming a nervous filly, Luna watching over their growing family of healing horses, the quiet exchanges between mother and daughter that needed no human interpretation. The documentary began attracting attention even before its completion. Early footage screened at a prestigious film festival brought offers from major networks, but Maya remained committed to telling the story with the depth and sensitivity it deserved. "This isn't just about animal rehabilitation," she explained to producers. "It's about the mysteries of consciousness, the power of maternal love, and the infinite capacity for healing that exists in all living beings." The impact of Hope's story continued to ripple outward in unexpected ways. A group of architects, specializing in therapeutic spaces, visited the ranch, studying how to design rehabilitation centers that could facilitate the kind of healing they witnessed. "The environment you've created here," noted architect Isabella Martinez, "is as much a part of the healing as the therapy itself. It's a sanctuary in the truest sense of the word." The summer days brought new challenges and triumphs. Each rescued horse that arrived carried its own story of trauma, but now they had something unprecedented. A guide who had walked their path and found her way back to light. Dr. Reeves's prediction about Hope's influence proved prophetic. Rehabilitation centers around the world began adopting elements of the Hope Protocol, reporting remarkable success rates with previously unreachable cases. Sarah's journal captured a particularly moving moment. Today, I watched Hope guide a blind horse through its first steps in the meadow. The trust between them was absolute, one who had learned to see with her heart leading another who could only see with his soul. The relationship between Hope and Luna continued to deepen and evolve. They moved together with an almost telepathic connection, their bond transcending the ordinary boundaries between mother and child, becoming something more profound, a partnership in healing. As summer reached its peak, the ranch hosted a gathering of international experts in animal rehabilitation. The event culminated in a demonstration of Hope's healing work, but what they witnessed exceeded all expectations. Hope and Luna, working in perfect harmony, guided a group of traumatized horses through a series of exercises that combined movement, music, and mutual support. The result was something entirely new, a collective healing experience that left observers speechless. What we're seeing here, Dr. Santos announced to the gathered experts, is the future of animal rehabilitation. Hope and Luna have shown us that healing is not just about repairing what's broken, it's about awakening the innate wisdom that exists within all living beings. Maya's camera captured it all. The triumphs, the quiet moments, the breakthrough. Realizations that would change the field of animal rehabilitation forever. But perhaps most importantly, it captured the essence of hope itself, the unshakable belief in the possibility of healing, no matter how deep the wounds. As the summer sun set on another day of miracles, Sarah sat in her usual spot, watching Hope and Luna in the pasture. They were surrounded by their growing family of healing horses, each one a testament to the power of love, patience, and the unbreakable bond between a mother who never gave up and a daughter who found the courage to not only heal, but to become a healer herself. In the gathering dusk, their silhouettes merged with the golden light, creating an image that would stay with everyone who witnessed it. A living symbol of hope, a reminder that even in our darkest moments there is always a path back to light, always a chance for renewal, always hope for a new beginning. And in that moment, as the stars began to appear in the Montana sky, the true miracle of their journey became clear. It wasn't just about saving one horse, or even many horses. It was about revealing the extraordinary capacity for healing that exists in all living beings, waiting only for the right combination of love, patience, and understanding to bloom. The height of summer brought an unexpected revelation that would elevate Hope's story to an entirely new dimension. Dr. Santos, during her continued research at the ranch, made a discovery that left the scientific community astounded. Through advanced behavioral analysis and careful observation, she identified patterns in Hope's healing interactions that suggested something unprecedented. What we're witnessing isn't just empathy or learned behavior, Dr. Santos announced during an emergency conference call with colleagues worldwide. Hope has developed what appears to be a systematic approach to trauma healing, an intuitive methodology that adapts to each individual case. The discovery sparked intense interest from the global scientific community. Dr. James Morrison, a pioneering researcher in animal cognition from Cambridge University, arrived within days to verify Dr. Santos's findings. What he observed left him speechless. Hope was working with a recently rescued mare named Starlight, who had been saved from severe neglect. Instead of following any standard rehabilitation protocol, Hope demonstrated what Dr. Morrison termed adaptive healing intelligence, changing her approach moment by moment based on Starlight's subtle responses. She's not just responding to obvious cues, Dr. Morrison explained, documenting every interaction. She's reading micro-expressions, adjusting her energy, and creating a sophisticated healing dialogue that we've never seen before in the animal kingdom. Luna's role in this revelation was equally fascinating. She had become what the researchers called a wisdom keeper, supporting Hope's work while maintaining the overall emotional stability of the growing herd of healing horses. Their mother-daughter dynamic had evolved into a powerful therapeutic partnership. Maya's documentary captured a particularly striking moment when Hope encountered a blind foal named Shadow. Instead of relying on visual communication, Hope developed a completely new approach, using gentle sounds and air movements to guide the foal through its fear. She's literally creating new languages of healing, Maya observed, her camera rolling as Hope worked with Shadow. She remembers her own journey through darkness and finds innovative ways to lead others toward light. The implications of these discoveries extended far beyond animal rehabilitation. Dr. Kim, collaborating with neurologists worldwide, began studying how Hope's methods could inform human trauma recovery. The parallels were striking: the importance of safety, the power of presence, the healing force of unconditional acceptance. Sarah's journal entries from this period reflected the magnitude of what was unfolding. Today, I watched Hope guide 3 different horses through their healing journeys, each approach uniquely tailored to their needs. She's not just helping them recover. She's teaching us about the very nature of healing itself. The ranch transformed into a living laboratory of hope, but not in the cold, clinical sense. It remained a sanctuary where the mysterious dance between science and spirit played out daily. Researchers worked alongside therapists, artists collaborated with veterinarians, and at the center of it all, Hope and Luna continued their sacred work. A breakthrough came when Hope began working with war-traumatized horses from a military program. Her ability to connect with these deeply wounded animals caught the attention of veteran support groups. Soon, the ranch was hosting joint healing sessions where veterans and traumatized horses recovered together. "She understands battlefield trauma," remarked Colonel James Parker, a veteran working with the program. "Somehow, she knows the difference between fear born of abuse and fear born of combat. Her approach changes accordingly." Dr. Reeves's prediction about Hope's influence on global rehabilitation practices proved prophetic in unexpected ways. Rehabilitation centers worldwide began reporting successful applications of what became known as the Hope paradigm, a holistic approach to healing that honored both scientific principles and innate wisdom. The most profound validation of Hope's work came through the transformation of the horses themselves. Each success story added to a growing body of evidence that trauma recovery could happen in ways previously thought impossible. The ranches. Documentation included countless cases of horses deemed beyond help, finding their way back to trust and joy. Luna's presence remained crucial to the entire operation. She had become what Dr. Santos called a master facilitator, helping Hope maintain boundaries and energy levels during intense healing sessions. Their synchronized movements during therapy sessions became a dance of healing that mesmerized observers and soothed troubled souls. One morning, As dawn painted the sky in shades of hope, something extraordinary happened. Hope initiated a new form of group healing, gathering troubled horses in a circle and moving among them with precise intention. Luna took up position at the circle's edge, maintaining the energetic container for the work. "This is unprecedented," Dr. Morrison whispered, watching the scene unfold. "She's created a communal healing methodology. The horses aren't just recovering individually, they're supporting each other's healing process." The implications of this development were staggering. Hope had essentially designed a peer support system for traumatized horses, challenging everything known about equine social behavior and healing capacity. Maya's camera captured these revolutionary moments, but she also documented the quieter transformations, the first time a traumatized horse accepted touch, the moment a fearful animal found its voice, the subtle shifts from survival to living. The summer heat brought new challenges and opportunities. The ranch began receiving requests from international organizations wanting to study and implement Hope's methods. Sarah carefully managed these interactions, ensuring that the sanctuary's peaceful environment remained protected. Dr. Kim's research into the neurological aspects of Hope's work yielded fascinating results. Using advanced monitoring equipment, he documented distinct changes in brainwave patterns among horses participating in Hope's healing sessions. "She's facilitating actual neurological reorganization," he explained during a presentation to colleagues. "The trauma patterns are being rewritten at a fundamental level. This isn't just behavioral modification, it's deep healing." The artistic community continued to find inspiration in Hope's work. A renowned composer created a symphony based on the rhythms of Hope's healing movements, while sculptors and painters sought to capture the essence of her transformative presence. Local artist Maria Gonzalez created a series of paintings titled The Languages of Hope, depicting the various ways Hope communicated with different horses. "Each interaction is unique," Maria explained. "She speaks 1,000 languages of healing." As summer began to wane, the ranch hosted a gathering of international experts in various fields: veterinary medicine, psychology, neuroscience, and traditional healing arts. The event was not just a conference, but a convergence of wisdom, traditions, and cutting-edge science. Hope's work during this gathering demonstrated the full scope of her abilities. Over 3 days, she worked with horses suffering from different types of trauma, showcasing her ability to adapt her approach, while maintaining the core principles of safety, presence, and unconditional acceptance. "What we're witnessing," Dr. Santos announced to the gathered experts, "is the emergence of a new understanding of consciousness and healing. Hope has shown us that the capacity for transformation exists in all living beings. We just need to learn how to nurture it properly." As the summer stars painted the Montana sky with light, Sarah sat in her usual spot, watching Hope and Luna in the pasture. They were surrounded by their growing family of healing horses, each one a testament to the power of love, wisdom, and the unbreakable bond between a mother who never gave up and a daughter who had become a teacher of healing itself. The true miracle, Sarah realized, wasn't just in the individual recoveries, remarkable as they were. It was in the ripple effect of hope that spread outward from this place, touching lives across species and continents, reminding everyone that healing is always possible, that love can bridge any distance, and that sometimes the greatest teachers come in unexpected forms. Hope's legacy had become something far greater than anyone could have imagined. not just a story of rescue and recovery, but a revolution in understanding the depths of animal consciousness and the infinite possibilities for healing when science and spirit dance together in service of life. The late summer brought an unexpected challenge that would test everything Hope and Luna had built. A devastating wildfire in a neighboring county forced the emergency evacuation of dozens of horses, many of them traumatized and injured. The Hope Equine Recovery Center was called upon to become a sanctuary for these displaced animals. "We're their best chance," Dr. Hayes argued during an emergency meeting. "No other facility has the expertise or the resources to handle this many traumatized horses at once." Sarah knew she was right, but the scale of the challenge was daunting. Within hours, trailers began arriving, carrying horses bearing both physical and emotional scars from their ordeal. The air was thick with smoke from the distant fires, and the animals' fear was palpable. But what happened next amazed even those who had grown accustomed to Hope's extraordinary abilities. Without prompting, Hope approached the first trailer as it opened. Luna positioned herself strategically nearby, creating what Dr. Santos would later describe as an energetic safe zone. Together, they began a synchronized dance of healing that would redefine the possibilities of large-scale trauma recovery. "She's triaging," Daniel observed in awe, watching Hope move from horse to horse. "She's actually assessing their emotional states and prioritizing who needs immediate intervention." The young mare who had once been so broken was now orchestrating a sophisticated emergency response. Dr. Reeves arrived to assist, bringing additional resources and expertise. But even she was stunned by what she witnessed. "Hope isn't just helping individual horses," she noted. "She's creating a systematic approach to group healing that we've never seen before." The most remarkable case was a severely burned stallion named Phoenix. When he arrived, his physical pain and emotional trauma made him nearly unapproachable. Traditional sedation seemed too risky, given his weakened state. That's when Hope demonstrated something extraordinary. Moving with incredible precision, she positioned herself near Phoenix, beginning a subtle series of movements that Dr. Kim would later identify as a form of bioresonance healing. Luna joined her, and together they created what observers described as a field of calm that gradually enveloped the suffering stallion. "It's like watching a masterclass in crisis intervention," Maya whispered, her camera capturing every moment. "They're not just calming him, they're showing him how to regulate his own response to trauma." Over the next several hours, Hope and Luna worked tirelessly, helping each new arrival find their place within the sanctuary's healing environment. The transformation was remarkable. Horses that arrived, panicked and disoriented, began to settle, their breathing synchronizing. With the calm rhythm Hope and Luna established, Sarah's journal entry that night captured the magnitude of what they'd witnessed. "Today, Hope showed us that healing isn't just about individual recovery. It's about creating communities of support where transformation becomes possible for everyone." The scientific team quickly mobilized to document this unprecedented display of mass trauma recovery. Dr. Santos and her colleagues set up monitoring equipment to track the subtle changes in group dynamics as Hope's influence spread through the herd. "What we're seeing defies conventional understanding," Dr. Santos explained during a hastily arranged video conference with colleagues worldwide. "Hope has developed a method of collective healing that appears to accelerate individual recovery rates exponentially." The most striking evidence came from the medical data. Horses under Hope's care showed markedly improved vital signs, reduced stress indicators, and accelerated physical healing compared to traditional emergency response protocols. Dr. Kim's neurological monitoring revealed something even more fascinating. There's a measurable synchronization of brainwave patterns among the horses in Hope's presence, he reported. She's facilitating a kind of group coherence that supports both individual and collective healing. The art therapy program adapted to capture this extraordinary moment. Maria organized a community art project where local children created murals depicting the healing taking place at the ranch. Their artwork captured something the scientific instruments couldn't, the spirit of hope that permeated every interaction. As days passed, the emergency response evolved into a sustained healing initiative. The ranch became a model for crisis intervention in animal trauma, with experts from around the world arriving to study Hope's methods. One particular breakthrough came when Hope began working with a group of younger horses who had been separated from their mothers during the evacuation. Luna's presence became crucial here as she demonstrated maternal nurturing that helped ease their separation anxiety. "She's teaching them how to feel safe again," Daniel observed, watching Luna guide a group of frightened foals. "And Hope is showing them how to trust that safety." The mother-daughter team had created a comprehensive approach to healing attachment trauma. The impact extended beyond the immediate crisis. Rehabilitation centers worldwide began incorporating elements of Hope's crisis response protocol into their programs. The Hope method of collective trauma recovery became a subject of study in veterinary schools and animal behavior programs. Maya's documentary expanded to capture this new chapter, showing how individual healing could scale to address community-wide trauma. "This isn't just about saving horses anymore," she reflected. "It's about understanding how healing ripples outward to transform entire communities." The most powerful moments often came in the quiet hours of dawn or dusk, when Hope and Luna would move among the recovering horses, offering silent support and gentle guidance. These sessions became what Dr. Reeves called master classes in the art of presence. "They're not just treating trauma," she explained to a group of visiting specialists. "They're teaching resilience, showing these horses how to carry their experiences without being defined by them." The transformation of the burned stallion, Phoenix, became a symbol of the ranch's expanded mission. Under Hope and Luna's care, he not only recovered physically, but began showing signs of emotional healing that amazed everyone involved in his care. "Watch how he mirrors Hope's calming behaviors with newer arrivals," Dr. Hayes pointed out one morning. "He's not just healing, he's becoming a healer himself." The cycle of transformation was completing itself, creating new generations of resilience and hope. Sarah's journal entries from this period reflected a deeper understanding of their work. Every crisis carries within it the seeds of transformation. Hope and Luna haven't just shown us how to handle emergency trauma, they've revealed the extraordinary capacity for healing that exists within all living beings. As summer began to fade into autumn, the ranch had been forever changed by the crisis response. What began as an emergency shelter had evolved into a model for community-based healing that drew attention from crisis response teams worldwide. The scientific papers and studies that emerged from this period would influence animal rehabilitation protocols for years to come. But perhaps more importantly, the experience demonstrated the profound impact of hope itself, how one being's journey from darkness to light could illuminate the path for countless others. In the growing dusk of an early autumn evening, Sarah watched Hope and Luna move among their expanded family of healing horses. The air was clear now, the fires long extinguished, but the transformation they had catalyzed continued to unfold. The true miracle, she realized, wasn't just in the number of horses they had helped save and heal. It was in the revelation that healing itself was contagious, that when given the right conditions, trauma could transform into wisdom, fear into strength, and crisis into opportunity. Hope's legacy had expanded beyond individual healing to encompass something far greater, a demonstration of how crisis could become catalyst, how trauma could birth transformation, and how love could multiply itself infinitely when given the chance to flow freely. The arrival of autumn brought a pivotal moment in Hope's journey. The international equine research community had been buzzing with news of an unprecedented gathering, the World Conference on Animal Consciousness and Healing, to be held in Switzerland. Hope and Luna's revolutionary healing methods had earned them a central place in the discussions. This is an opportunity to share Hope's gift with the world, Dr. Santos urged, presenting the invitation to Sarah. What's happening here could transform animal rehabilitation globally. The prospect was both exciting and daunting. The decision to temporarily relocate Hope and Luna to the Swiss Alps for the conference sparked intense preparation. Dr. Hayes worked tirelessly to ensure both horses would be comfortable during the long journey. The scientific team gathered their extensive documentation, preparing to present their findings to the world's leading experts. Mare's documentary crew captured the preparations, but it was a quiet moment between Hope and Luna that became the most powerful footage. The night before their departure, the two horses stood together under the Montana stars, their silent communion speaking volumes about the journey that had brought them to this point. "They're ready," Daniel observed, watching them. "They've been preparing for this moment since the beginning, even if we didn't know it." The journey to Switzerland became its own story of healing. During a layover at a German equestrian center, Hope encountered a group of severely traumatized horses rescued from an illegal racing operation. Without hesitation, she began working with them, demonstrating her methods to an astonished European veterinary team. "She's not waiting for the conference," Dr. Reeves noted with amazement. "She's teaching wherever she goes." Luna, ever the protective mother, maintained the energetic space that allowed Hope to work her magic. The Swiss venue was nestled in the Alps, surrounded by meadows that seemed to touch the sky. The gathering included veterinarians, scientists, traditional healers, and animal behaviorists from every corner of the globe. But it was Hope's first demonstration that left them speechless. Working with a local rescue horse named Alpine, Hope showcased her full range of healing abilities. The audience watched in stunned silence as she guided Alpine through a profound transformation, using methods that defied conventional understanding. "This goes beyond anything we've documented in animal behavior," declared Dr. Elena Petrov, a leading researcher in animal cognition. She's demonstrating a level of emotional intelligence and healing capacity that challenges our entire understanding of consciousness. Luna's role in the demonstrations proved equally revelatory. Together, mother and daughter presented a new paradigm of healing that combined intuitive wisdom with practical methodology. Their synchronized movements became a language of their own, speaking directly to the hearts of both horses and humans. The conference presentations expanded to include live feeds from the ranch in Montana, where the horses Hope had helped were now helping others. Phoenix, the burned stallion, had become a powerful example of the ripple effect of healing, now working with newly rescued horses in his own unique way. Dr. Kim's neurological research presentation revealed groundbreaking findings. The brainwave patterns we've recorded during Hope's healing sessions show evidence of what we're calling coherence cascades, healing frequencies that appear to transmit from one being to another. The artistic element of Hope's work captured imaginations worldwide. A renowned Swiss composer created a symphony based on the rhythmic patterns of Hope's healing movements, performed live as she worked with traumatized horses. The music seemed to enhance her natural abilities, creating what observers described as a multi-dimensional healing experience. Sarah's journal entries from the conference reflected the magnitude of what was unfolding. Today, I watched Hope teach the world's leading experts things they never knew were possible. But what moves me most is how she remains completely authentic, completely present, completely focused on the healing work itself. The most powerful moment came during an unplanned session with a horse named Spirit, who had been deemed too dangerous for public demonstrations. Hope's approach to Spirit demonstrated the full sophistication of her methods, the perfect balance of boundary and compassion, strength and gentleness. She's not just showing us techniques, Dr. Santos observed during the session. She's demonstrating a completely new understanding of what healing means, not as something we do to others, but as a space we create where transformation becomes possible. The conference expanded beyond its original scope, becoming a global conversation about the nature of consciousness, healing, and the profound connections possible between all living beings. Hope and Luna's work became the catalyst for new research. Initiatives, therapeutic programs, and international collaborations. One particularly moving development came when a group of indigenous healers recognized patterns in Hope's work that echoed their own ancient traditions. She has accessed something universal, explained Maria Runningwolf, a Native American horse whisperer, something that transcends species and time. The impact of the conference rippled outward in unexpected ways. Major universities announced new research programs dedicated to studying the Hope Protocol. Rehabilitation centers worldwide began incorporating elements of her methods. The documentary footage Maya had captured became required viewing in veterinary schools. But perhaps the most profound transformation was happening in the quiet moments. Between sessions, as Hope and Luna worked with local horses in the alpine meadows, their presence seemed to awaken something ancient and powerful in the landscape itself, creating what one observer called a field of healing. Dr. Reeves captured this essence in her keynote address. What Hope and Luna have shown us isn't just a new method of healing. They've revealed the extraordinary potential that exists within all living beings. The capacity to transcend trauma, to transform pain into wisdom, and to help others find their way back to wholeness. The conference concluded with an unprecedented ceremony where Hope and Luna were honored not just as subjects of study, but as teachers in their own right. The gathered experts acknowledged that they had witnessed something that would forever change their understanding of animal consciousness and healing. As autumn painted the Alps in brilliant colors, Sarah reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From a stormy night in Montana to this global stage, Hope and Luna had never wavered from their essential nature. As healers, as teachers, as beings of profound wisdom and love. The return journey to Montana carried with it the weight of new responsibility and opportunity. The world now knew about Hope's gift, but Sarah was determined to maintain the purity and integrity of their work. The ranch would expand its programs thoughtfully, always keeping the focus on the healing itself. In the gathering dusk of their first evening back home, Hope and Luna stood in their familiar pasture, surrounded by the horses they had helped heal. Their presence seemed somehow larger now, as if their journey to Switzerland had added new dimensions to their already remarkable bond. The true miracle, Sarah realized, wasn't just in what Hope and Luna had achieved on the world stage. It was in how they had remained utterly true to themselves throughout, authentic, present, and completely dedicated to the sacred work of healing. As the stars appeared in the Montana sky, their light seemed to echo the truth that Hope and Luna had shared with the world, that within every living being exists the capacity for extraordinary healing, and that sometimes the greatest teachers come to us in forms we least expect, showing us paths to wholeness we never knew existed. The return to Montana marked not just a homecoming, but the beginning of a new chapter that would challenge and expand everything they thought they knew about healing. The ranch was evolving, guided by Hope and Luna's ever-deepening wisdom, but it was an unexpected arrival that would spark the most profound transformation yet. Late one autumn evening, a trailer arrived carrying 3 young horses rescued from an underground racing syndicate. The youngest, a copper-colored filly named Ember, caught everyone's attention, not for her injuries, which were severe, but for her extraordinary response to Hope's presence. "Something's different," Dr. Hayes observed, watching the initial interaction. "Look at how they're communicating." Hope approached Ember with an intensity they'd never seen before, while Luna positioned herself in a way that created what Dr. Santos would later call a triangulation of healing energy. The connection between Hope and Ember transcended typical rehabilitation patterns. The young filly seemed to absorb Hope's healing methods with remarkable speed, soon beginning to mirror her techniques with other traumatized horses. "She's not just healing," Daniel noted, documenting the phenomenon. "She's apprenticing." This unexpected development opened up entirely new possibilities for the continuation of Hope's work. Dr. Kim's latest research revealed something extraordinary in the neurological patterns shared between Hope and Ember. "They're achieving levels of coherence we've never seen before," he explained, reviewing the data. "It's as if Hope has found a natural successor, someone who can carry her healing methods forward and even expand upon them." The implications were staggering. Hope wasn't just healing anymore. She was actively teaching the next generation of healing horses. Luna's role evolved as well, creating a 3-generational lineage of wisdom that began attracting attention from evolutionary biologists and consciousness researchers worldwide. Maya's documentary crew, which had stayed on to capture the ranch's post-Switzerland developments, found themselves documenting something unprecedented. The footage showed Hope systematically guiding Ember through increasingly complex healing interactions, while Luna maintained the energetic foundation that made such deep learning possible. Sarah's journal entries from this period revealed the deeper significance. Today, I watched Hope teaching Ember how to read trauma patterns in other horses. It wasn't just instruction, it was a transmission of wisdom that seemed to reach back through generations of horse consciousness. The scientific community was captivated by this development. Dr. Reeves organized a special research initiative to study what she termed generational healing transmission, the way healing knowledge appeared to be passing not just through traditional learning, but through some deeper form of consciousness sharing. One morning, during a particularly powerful session, Ember demonstrated an ability that even Hope hadn't shown. She began working with a group of horses simultaneously, creating what Dr. Santos described as a healing matrix, a field of energy that seemed to support multiple recoveries at once. She's not just replicating Hope's methods, Dr. Santos explained during an emergency conference call with colleagues. She's evolving them, showing us the next stage in the development of equine healing consciousness. The artistic response to this new development was equally profound. Maria Gonzalez created a series of paintings titled The Inheritance of Light, depicting the flow of healing wisdom from Luna to Hope to Ember. The works captured something essential about the transmission of consciousness that words couldn't express. As autumn deepened, the ranch hosted a gathering of indigenous horse healers from around the world. Their observations added crucial insights to the understanding of what was unfolding. "This is ancient wisdom finding new forms," explained Running Loud, a Lakota horse medicine man. "The horses are showing us how healing knowledge lives and grows through generations." The practical applications of this development began to emerge. Rehabilitation centers that had adopted the Hope Protocol now had a model for training their own healing horses. The possibility of creating networks of equine healers opened up new horizons in animal rehabilitation. Dr. Kim's research expanded to study the neurological patterns of horses who worked with both Hope and Ember. The results showed something remarkable, a kind of quantum entanglement of healing frequencies that seemed to amplify the therapeutic effect. "What we're witnessing," he explained during a presentation to colleagues, "is the evolution of healing consciousness itself. These horses are showing us how wisdom can be transmitted and expanded across generations." The most powerful validation came through the continued success of their healing work. Horses that seemed beyond help found their way back to wholeness through the combined efforts of Hope, Luna, and now Ember. Each success added to a growing body of evidence about the extraordinary potential for healing that existed within the horse-human relationship. One particular case stood out, a stallion named Thundercloud, whose trauma was so severe that even Hope had struggled to reach him. It was Ember who finally broke through, using a combination of Hope's methods and her own innovations that left everyone amazed. "She's not just continuing Hope's work," Daniel observed. "She's taking it to the next level, showing us possibilities we never imagined." Luna watched these developments with what observers described as grandmother's pride, a deep satisfaction in seeing wisdom flow through generations. The implications for the future of animal rehabilitation were profound. The Hope Equine Recovery Center began developing programs to identify and nurture healing abilities in other horses, creating what Dr. Reeves called a constellation of healing that could extend Hope's work far beyond the ranch. Sarah's journal captured a particularly moving moment. Today, I watch 3 generations of healing wisdom at work, Luna providing the foundation, Hope teaching the methods, and Ember innovating new approaches. It's like watching the future of healing unfold before our eyes. As winter approached, the ranch hosted a special ceremony to honor this new phase of their journey. Indigenous healers, scientists, artists, and animal behaviorists gathered to witness and celebrate the transmission of healing wisdom across generations. The ceremony culminated in a remarkable demonstration where Hope, Luna, and Ember worked together to heal a group of traumatized horses. Their synchronized movements created what observers described as a symphony of healing that touched everyone, present at the deepest level. Maya's cameras captured the essence of this moment. The perfect balance of ancient wisdom and new possibilities, the flow of healing knowledge across generations, and the profound hope this offered for the future of animal rehabilitation. The true significance of what they were witnessing went beyond the immediate healing work. It spoke to the endless possibilities for growth and evolution in consciousness itself, showing how wisdom could be preserved, transmitted, and expanded through the generations. As the first snow fell on the Montana ranch, Sarah watched the 3 horses moving together in the twilight. Luna, the wise grandmother, Hope, the pioneering healer, and Ember, the next-generation innovator. Their presence spoke of a future where healing wisdom could flow endlessly, touching more lives with each passing generation. The legacy they were creating wasn't just about healing trauma anymore. It was about the endless potential for growth and evolution in consciousness itself, about how wisdom could be preserved and expanded through time, and about the extraordinary possibilities that opened up when beings came together in service of healing. As the stars appeared in the winter sky, their light seemed to echo the truth that Hope, Luna, and now Ember had revealed, that healing wisdom was a living force, capable of growing and evolving through generations, touching more lives and opening new possibilities with each transmission of light. The winter solstice brought with it a moment of profound completion that would crown Hope's remarkable journey. As the shortest day of the year dawned, Sarah stood at the barn door, watching snow fall softly on the transformed landscape of the ranch. What had begun with one horse's vigil at an abandoned barn had blossomed into something that had changed countless lives across the globe. The morning's stillness was broken by the arrival of an unexpected visitor, Dr. Richard Chen, the world's leading expert on animal consciousness. He had traveled from Singapore after reviewing the cumulative data from Hope's work. "What you've created here," he said, surveying the peaceful scene, "transcends everything we thought we knew about healing and consciousness." Inside the barn, Hope stood with Luna and Ember, their presence radiating a calm certainty that seemed to deepen with each passing day. The 3 generations of healing wisdom had created something unprecedented, a living legacy that continued to evolve and expand. That morning they would witness something extraordinary. A group of horses from rehabilitation centers worldwide had been brought to the ranch, each one trained in various aspects of Hope's methods. As the sun rose higher, these horses gathered in the snow-covered paddock, creating what Dr. Chen would later describe as a constellation of healing consciousness. "Watch," Dr. Santos whispered, as Hope moved to the center of the gathering. What followed was unlike anything they had documented before. Hope began leading what appeared to be a coordinated healing ceremony, with Luna and Ember taking positions that created a triangular energy field. The visiting horses responded with remarkable synchronicity, each one seeming to understand its role in this larger demonstration of healing wisdom. The effect rippled outward, creating what Dr. Kim's instruments recorded as cascading waves of coherent energy. "This isn't just a demonstration," Dr. Chen observed, his voice filled with wonder. "This is the emergence of a new form of collective consciousness. They're showing us how healing can multiply exponentially when shared through a network of awakened beings." Maya's cameras captured the unfolding miracle, but even her experienced eye could hardly believe what she was seeing. The horses moved together in perfect harmony, creating patterns that seemed to echo ancient sacred geometries. The snow falling around them added to the ethereal quality of the moment. Sarah's journal entry that morning reflected the magnitude of what they were witnessing. "Today, Hope showed us the ultimate purpose of her journey. It was never just about individual healing. It was about awakening a network of healing consciousness that could touch the world." The scientific implications were staggering. Dr. Kim's latest research revealed that the coherent energy field generated by the gathered horses had measurable effects extending far beyond the immediate vicinity. Plants in the surrounding area showed accelerated growth patterns, and even the local wildlife seemed drawn to the peaceful energy emanating from the ranch. But perhaps most remarkable was the effect on the human observers. People reported experiencing profound shifts in consciousness simply by being present for these gatherings. The ranch had become what Dr. Reeves called a nexus of transformation, a place where the boundaries between species dissolved in the presence of pure healing energy. The artistic response to this culmination was equally profound. Maria's final painting in her series captured something essential about the moment, the way individual consciousness could merge into a greater whole while maintaining its unique essence. The work would later be displayed in galleries worldwide as a testament to the power of collective healing. As the day progressed, each horse trained in Hope's methods demonstrated its own unique expression of the healing wisdom. Some worked with trauma, others with physical rehabilitation, and still others with emotional restoration. Together, they created a complete system of healing that could adapt and respond to any need. Luna's role in this grand finale was particularly moving. She had become what the indigenous healers called a wisdom keeper, one who holds the foundation for others' growth. Her presence provided the stable center around which this new consciousness could evolve and expand. Ember, representing the future of this lineage, showed capabilities that amazed even Hope. She had developed ways to work with multiple dimensions of healing simultaneously, demonstrating the endless potential for evolution in this field of work. The day's events culminated in a ceremony that brought together all the elements of their journey: the scientific discoveries, the artistic expressions, the spiritual insights, and the practical applications of their work. As the sun began to set on the shortest day of the year, the gathered horses created one final demonstration of unified healing consciousness. The effect was breathtaking. The coherent field of energy they generated was so powerful that Dr. Kim's instruments actually short-circuited. Observers reported seeing waves of golden light moving through the gathering, though no cameras could capture this phenomenon. "This is beyond science," Dr. Chen admitted, watching in awe. "They're showing us what's possible when consciousness evolves beyond our current understanding. This isn't just the culmination of Hope's journey. It's the beginning of something entirely new." The legacy they had created would continue to grow and evolve. Rehabilitation centers worldwide had already begun implementing programs based on Hope's methods, each one adding new dimensions to the work. The network of healing horses was expanding, creating what Dr. Santos called a global web of conscious healing. But perhaps the most profound aspect of this completion was its simplicity. At its heart, it remained what it had always been: the story of a mother's love, a daughter's healing, and the extraordinary potential for transformation that exists within all living beings. As darkness fell on that shortest day, Sarah watched Hope, Luna, and Ember standing together in the softly falling snow. They had shown the world something miraculous: that healing was not just about recovering from trauma, but about awakening to the full potential of consciousness itself. The stars emerged one by one, their light seeming to mirror the network of healing consciousness that had been awakened on Earth. What had begun with one horse's vigil had blossomed into a movement that would continue to grow and evolve, touching lives across species and generations. Looking ahead, Sarah could see the endless possibilities unfolding. Each horse trained in Hope's methods would go on to teach others, creating an ever-expanding web of healing wisdom. The research would continue, the artists would find new ways to express these truths, and the practical applications would keep evolving. But the essence would remain the same: the simple truth that love could heal any wound, that wisdom could bridge any gap, and that consciousness itself was an endless frontier of possibility waiting to be explored. As the winter night deepened, the ranch settled into a peaceful silence. Hope, Luna, and Ember stood together under the stars, their presence a living testament to the journey they had shared and the future they had helped create. Their story had become more than just a tale of healing. It had become a beacon of hope for all who sought to understand the deeper mysteries of consciousness and connection. And in that moment, as snow continued to fall softly around them, the true miracle of their journey became clear. It wasn't just about what they had accomplished, but about what they had awakened in others. The healing wisdom they had cultivated would continue to grow and evolve, touching lives in ways they could never imagine, spreading hope and transformation across the world like ripples in an infinite pond of consciousness. The end of their story was really just the beginning of something far greater, a new chapter in the evolution of healing consciousness, written in the language of love, wisdom, and the unbreakable bonds that connect all living beings. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.